fellow gurus. I'm Jason, and we have with us today Jerome.
Yeah, I'm Jerome, master of the spheres. I'm dressed as an avatar. I'm the bridge between the human world and the spiritual world.
Okay, and everyone knows the Avatar series too. My Halloween costume, as you see, is, I'm playing a character out of my own mythos, Jermaine Love. Okay, that's my own created character. That's who I am for. I have my members only jacket on. I have my afro that I grew overnight, and my lovely hippie glasses. Because I've been doing some research lately on where Halloween came from, and all the interesting aspects associated with it. Scary stories, trick-or-treating, black cats, the playing around with magic, and then like Jamie has in her background, the jack-o'-lanterns or the pumpkins. Our fellow guru guest for today is Jamie Pritchard. Jamie is a fellow academic, a researcher, an avid lover of reading. Jamie, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your interests.
All right. Well, as you said, I'm a fellow academic. I'm actually a doctoral student studying African and African diaspora studies. And a lot of what I do is study Black women as writers of genre fiction. I focus a lot on speculative fiction, and horror falls into that category. So I'm very interested in how Black women writers kind of transform these well-known characters like vampires and zombies and ghosts into figures that highlight a lot of the history, a lot of the Black history within the diaspora.
What is one story that, from the horror fiction that you just described, what is one story that you would like to, that really touched you, that was really interesting to you, that you could talk briefly about, that had to do with witches, Halloween?
I'm thinking of two different things. The first thing that comes to me is in middle school. Y'all probably read these too. In middle school, in elementary school, R.L. Stine.
Oh, yes.
Goosebumps series. And, from the Goosebumps series, I moved on to Christopher Pike. Those were the two big authors of horror fiction that I read as an adolescent, as well as a teenager. And then I moved on to Anne Rice. That's Interview with the Vampire. And I just checked out the first book, The Witching Hour, from that. But lately, since, I do study Black women writers, I have been reading a lot of Octavia Butler. When I talked about vampires, Fledgling just pops into my mind.
Fledgling is the story of an apparently young, amnesiac girl whose alarmingly unhuman needs and abilities lead her to a startling conclusion. She is, in fact, a genetically modified 53-year-old vampire.
Because there's so much controversy around fledgling within, some communities who don't like how young the character appears in the novel. But, I think it adds a certain element to it. A lot of things that I do read fall within science fiction and fantasy, so they have horror elements to them.
So you mentioned Tananarive Due. Have you read a number of her books? She had a vampire series. I forget the name of it. I read the first part of it.
Yeah, she has a vampire series. The first one is My Soul to Keep, and that's actually the only one that I've read so far, but I do have the entire series. What I didn't connect it to her is, I don't know if you know Joelle Gomez. She actually did a vampire novel, the first African-American writer to do a vampire novel. The vampire was a hero and was also a Black lesbian. So that's something that we don't typically see. I don't think we even still see that in vampire novels, do we?
Is that the Gilda stories?
The Gilda stories, yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading that. That was good. But see, what I remember from Halloween as a young person is, going to school, and they're having those like the Halloween parade, you dressed up, you got candy and stuff, and you marched around the school. This was elementary school. Remember Garfield Elementary?
Mhm.
And then, like, we would get the candy, we would go home, and we would go on the floor on that green carpet. It was kind of like grass, and we would pour the box out, and we would be on the floor trading candy and doing all kind of stuff. That's the memories I have of Halloween. And then going out trick or treating. I remember somebody dressed up as a Dracula. Maybe that was me. And then my cape got ripped off. I went to a Halloween thing.
I
That
think
was
that was me.
Jason.
Yeah,
Jason
that was
was
me.
Dracula. What were you? I know I was a pumpkin. I was always a pumpkin, I think.
I was a pumpkin during Halloween days when I worked at IHOP. You remember that?
No, insert picture here.